I'm a guy that's 26. Each day I build with bricks. I like Star Wars playset. I'm Rich Boy J. Hello boyos, Rich Boy J here, back with another video, and today we are going to have my 2021 year-end review. Yes, we are closing the chapter on 2021. We are flipping to the new chapter of 2022. But before we get into that, I just wanted to do a little bit of a review of 2021. When I was looking back and thinking, like, you know, how do I want to end off my channel for this year content-wise, I was like, well, a year-end review seems pretty appropriate. And then I had to think, like, did I actually even do a year-end review for last year? I genuinely couldn't remember. And I checked back and I realized, yes, I did. I actually did one for 2019 and 2020. So it's nice to keep with that continuity there. And I'm actually going to do 3 things in this video, pretty much the exact same thing I did last time. The first part of this video, I'm going to be looking back at the things I said I was going to accomplish back in that 2020 video, and we'll see how well I've measured up to those expectations. We're also just going to take a look back at 2021 and talk about all the awesome things that happened this year. And then we're going to talk about my plans for 2022. So let's go back to that video in 2020. First thing I have to mention, because I mentioned it in that video as well, the hair change, obviously. Like, I think when I did that video, I just started my lock journey, my dreadlock journey, and my hair was so short, like it didn't even come past my eyes. So looking at now a year later, and my hair is much, much longer, it's interesting to see, you know, just how that's changed. I mean, obviously my hair is gonna grow, right? But it's crazy to see just how much it has grown over the past year. But this isn't a hair video, this is a Lego video. So the first thing I talked about that I had to get done for 2021 in that video was, 1, finishing Starkiller Base. There is no way I can leave 2021 having Starkiller not finished. That would just be worst possible scenario. Like, I am getting this mock done. I am getting this mock done. I am happy to say that yes, Starkiller Base did get finished. I somehow, by some miracle, got that thing to a convention with the help of a lot of good friends, and it turned out amazingly. Like, the reception to that build was awesome. It holds the self-proclaimed record of being the largest fan-made Lego Star Wars mock, which is incredible. Like, I honestly can't believe we pulled it off, but that did happen. So thank God I finally got that done. The second thing I mentioned was that I wanted to finish my minifig wall. Next up, I also would love to finish my minifig wall. Even if I, you know, end up in a place where there's like 2 or 3 super expensive, like $600-700 figures that I haven't collected, I would just like to look over there and see like a completed minifig wall. So this is kind of awkward. I checked back in my videos, and I don't think I actually uploaded a single minifig wall update this year, which is crazy to think about. Like, I look back and I'm like, there's no way, I had to do at least one. But I looked through, and I think the last update I did was from last December. Yeah, that's kind of unacceptable. The minifig wall is a big piece of my channel. Like, other than maybe my mock series and the mock showcase, those were consistently some of my most successful videos. So the biggest reason why, you know, I didn't purposefully just, you know, neglect it, but a lot of the figures that I had left to collect are just rising. They rise tremendously in price, and they still seem to be rising in price, which is super unfortunate. But it's at this point just something I'm gonna have to do. Like, I'm so close to the finish line. I have, you know, over 1,100 unique Star Wars minifigures, and I think there's maybe, you know, a little less than 1,200 that exist. So I have like 96 figures I need to get. Some of them are just gonna be unrealistic for me to get anytime soon, like those New York I Heart Yodas. I mean, there's really just nothing I can do unless I become, you know, a millionaire this year or something crazy like that, or something just happens where one of them falls in my lap somehow. I don't know. Those figures are probably just not gonna happen anytime soon. But there are still many other figures that I can get, that I can, you know, use to finish up the wall, because I'm looking at it now and it looks so full. It looks so much more full than it did when I first started the series, but I just need to go ahead and cross that finish line, at least get all of the relatively easily attainable figures out of the way. So That's kind of unfortunate. We'll see if we can be better about that moving forward. The next thing I talked about in that video was I wanted to do more vehicle builds, more custom vehicle builds. The next thing I want to do is build more vehicle mocks. Like I said, I didn't finish a single mock this year. I didn't build a single vehicle from start to finish this year. I think that has to change for 2021. Now, obviously, I didn't do 4 unique vehicles. I mean, technically you could say I did 3, but in reality, I did 1, and that was this Republic gunship right here. But I'm not gonna consider this a failure, like me not living up to that, because I love these gunships so much, man. Like, this is the vehicle build that I'm certainly most proud of that I've ever done. So I'll consider this a win in the win column, just because, like, I love those gunships. I think they look incredible. It's my favorite Star Wars ship, and like, even to this point, I've had these sitting here for months now, and I still look at them with such fondness, with such excitement, because I just love the way that my custom gunships came out. Custom gunships that you can purchase the instructions for, linked in the description to take care of that if you want. Number 4, my subscriber goal. Finally, subscriber goals. People love hearing about those. I'm thinking I'd like to hit 50,000 subscribers before the end of the year. I think where I'm currently sitting at 36,000, that is absolutely attainable. So obviously, looking at my subscribers, I think I have like 45,000. I didn't quite hit 50K. Which is, I mean, I don't think it's a big deal. Like, I feel like when I first started uploading, subscribers were everything. Like, how many subscribers did I get today? How close am I to the next milestone? But I feel like as you progress as a YouTuber, you realize just how much, not to say it doesn't matter, but how much it doesn't define you. Like, regardless of my audience size, I'm gonna put effort into this channel. I'm going to, want to show off my Lego creations, and I can't use the subscribers as like a metric to determine whether or not I've done what I wanted to do. I more so look at, like, that I upload the videos that I want to do. Am I proud of the mocks that I created? And if those boxes are checked off, the subscribers will come. So, that's not to say I completely failed. 45K subs is awesome. And I love that my audience does very clearly appear to be growing. But I'm not super bummed out about this one. I think the subscribers will come, especially with the Camino mock build series. I think that there are a lot of people who, just aren't actively looking for sequel mocks. I think that's just the case. Like, look at some of the comments on the video that I did for Starkiller. I think that's very apparent. I feel like the Camino build series will bring a lot of new viewers, which would be cool, and it'll be very interesting when they find out my views on those movies. So now let's take a look back at 2021 and some of the things that have happened in my life as well as my channel. So first, just talking about life stuff, I went back to university. I am a full-time college student at an actual university, no more community college. I'm back in the thick of things, and it's been a challenge. Like, it has been such a challenge trying to balance school, work, and YouTube. And I think any of you who are a fan of me, who saw the long droughts that I had with content uploads, especially at the beginning of this year, and maybe even a little bit towards the middle, I think it's very apparent that that was something that was affecting me. Fortunately, I did still accomplish a lot of things I want to accomplish. Like, obviously Starkiller was top priority. So, it wasn't something that just completely ruined everything, but it definitely affected, what I was and was not able to do, and probably was the biggest reason I didn't, do more when it comes to the minifig wall, or maybe do more insofar as like building other people's mocks in my collection. So, it's obviously super important. Like, that's just the way it is. Life is going to happen regardless of, how my channel goes. But as I look back on this year, I do still feel like I have a lot to show for the time that I did spend with Lego and that I did spend with my channel. Next up, we had a Jedi Temple announcement that happened at the beginning of this year. Obviously, we got no Jedi Temple to show for it. A lot of people have been asking what the heck is the deal with this mock, and I think we were super excited to announce it because it was the first project that we were actually all three, me, David, and Matt were going to work on. And life just got in the way for all of us, and other Lego projects got in the way, right? Like, I was expecting to have Starkiller done a lot earlier than I did, and I thought that, it would be easier to balance Starkiller with doing my contributions for the Jedi Temple, but that obviously was not the case for any of us. So that's kind of unfortunate, but what I will say about that is this isn't a project that we've abandoned by any means. We are still talking about it. I think I mean, I hope they don't kill me for putting this out there, but I think as of now, our goal is still to take that build to Brickfair, Virginia next year. That's the one convention that we will pretty much all for sure be at. That build will happen 100%. Like, it's one, even at this point, I'm still excited to do, because it's just unlike anything else I've built up until this point. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to that Jedi Temple mock. Next thing, my backyard RC track. This was something that I at no point last year anticipated doing. It was just something that kind of, I don't want to say spontaneously happened, but you know, as I started getting more and more into the RC community, and you know, they released this new RC truck, the Losi LMT. That thing is just such a beast, and I love it. And I started getting into that, and I found this one guy on YouTube named Michael Letcher, who basically hosts like RC monster truck events in his backyard. And you know, all those things kind of came together, and I started getting more and more into it, and more motivated to see if that's something that I could pull off. And we did pull it off. Me and my little brother, we built a miniature RC monster truck track in our backyard, and it's crazy that it happened that way. I even started a little channel for that RC stuff. I don't post there super often, but I did, you know, post those initial videos when we first built it, as well as some other really cool stuff. So if you guys haven't seen that, I'd say check it out. You know, I think you get to see maybe another side of me that you haven't seen up to this point. And also, I think the RC stuff is just so freaking cool. But the good news about that is recently I've been putting more time into getting my RC track rebuilt, because we just got so much rain over the year that my backyard just got devastated. Like, most of the ramps were just gone. But it is almost back to where it was before. In fact, it's better than where it was before. So over this, you know, holiday season, or this winter break that we're having, I'm hoping that we can get out there and have a lot of fun, get some more videos recorded, and yeah, literally looking forward to that. Next thing is, of course, Starkiller Base was finished, and I made it a point to add this into this section as well, because I really wanted to talk about just how monumental of an achievement this was for me. Like, I don't think you guys realize just how big of a personal goal it was to finally finish this project. This is the thing, you know, in all my life that I've, you know, the one project that I've worked the longest time on. 2.5 years is a really long time to be working on a Lego project. And it, you know, it just took so much effort and time and money. And, you know, there were times where I just wasn't sure. There were times where I lost motivation. And there were times, you know, especially towards the end, where I was just like, there's no way this is going to get done. But by, you know, some miracle, by the help of a lot of really awesome people, it did get finished. So I am super grateful that we got that done. And it makes me so happy looking back on that build and like saying, yep, we got it done. I got to see it in person. I got to see that Starkiller Base build. And man, it just makes me so happy. And at this point, you know, it's my most successful Lego video, which is really cool too. I think before it, my ATM6 video was the most successful, and this one surpassed that almost immediately. And it's almost at 700,000 views. I mean, that's just, you know, for my channel, insane for a Lego video. I know there's that certain other video on my channel that I don't know if I'll ever catch up to, but 700K views on a Lego video for me, especially the project that I put so much effort into, it really meant a lot that I got such a good reception for that, and so many people have seen that build. Last thing I want to talk about for 2021 is Lego conventions. Obviously 2020, there were no Lego conventions, no public ones at least, but 2021 we got back to the swing of things, and I was actually able to go to Lego conventions, and I honestly gotta say, like, I needed those experiences. Brick Rodeo, maybe not so much. Like, that was just very stressful, but of course, you know, I did have the satisfaction of seeing my mock completed there. So you know, it was, you know, there's good and the bad that comes with that, and I mean, it just is what it is, you know. But Brickfair, Virginia, oh my god, that was just such a nice bookend to Starkiller, because, you know, I had it finished going to the convention. I wasn't, you know, relentlessly trying to build things while we were at the convention. I got there, we got set up, and everyone loved the build. I was literally positioned right at the front of the convention hall, and it got a lot of attention. I actually won the, I think, biggest and bestest award for it at Brickfair, which is super awesome, because I've never taken any sort of, like, noteworthy build to a big convention like that. So to get that kind of recognition for what was basically just 1/3, maybe even closer to 1/4 of the Starkiller base build, like that's just incredible. And I can't even imagine what the reception would have been if I had taken the entire mock there. So that was such an awesome experience, just for one, getting to see Starkiller without the pressure of like, oh my God, is Starkiller going to get done? But also the experiences I had with the people there. I met so many awesome people at Brickfair this year, and we had such a good time hanging out. Like, I think because there was that long drought where we couldn't go to conventions, getting to actually go there and spend time with people in the community and to see people's builds and getting to meet people was just such a great experience. And it has me so hyped up for next year's convention season. Like, I don't know if I've ever been this excited for LEGO conventions, and it's really all because we had so much fun at Brick Rodeo and Brickfair. So once again, you guys are going to get my LEGO convention pitch. If you haven't been to a LEGO convention, go to your local LEGO convention. They will completely change your perspective of LEGO. They are, I feel like, they're not a once-in-a-lifetime experience because they happen every year, but it is a one-of-a-kind experience. Like, you can't get that kind of LEGO experience anywhere else other than LEGO conventions. The final thing I want to talk about in regards to 2021 is the state of LEGO Star Wars, because this is also something that I addressed in my last video. In the last video, I think I more or less said like the January wave was pretty good. The April wave was obviously the low point for me with the helmet sets, obviously not my thing. But then we ended the year on a very high note with that summer 2020 wave. I loved just the diversity in that group of sets. It had something for every type of Star Wars fan. Whether you're a prequel, sequel, trilogy, you like the cartoons, you like the Mandalorian, there was just something for everyone in that weave of sets. So now moving forward to 2021, I feel like that original January wave, it wasn't a bad wave. Like, they reintroduced a lot of sets that I think, you know, people who are first-time collectors, they'd really appreciate, like TIE Fighter, X-Wing, Imperial Shuttle. Those are all kind of like staple sets for a LEGO collection. But for someone who's been a long-time collector, I would say pretty uninspired. Like, there was nothing that I was extremely excited about in that January wave. The April wave obviously came and went. Like, the helmets, once again, they do nothing for me. They're just not what I care about when it comes to LEGO Star Wars, especially now that they're replacing playsets. But then we got the summer wave, and this one, I wouldn't say it's controversial, but I feel like it's kind of polarizing. I feel like there are a lot of people who are like, oh my God, this wave was so great because we got, you know, Mando sets, we got Bad Batch sets, and we got Clone Wars sets. We did get Clone Wars sets, right? Yeah, we got at least one Clone Wars set. So a lot of people were excited about that. Me personally, it just wasn't really my thing. I mean, they aren't bad sets. Like, a lot of them I thought were kind of neat, especially like this Mando Starfighter right there. Like, I really like that set. But it just didn't really offer that diversity that the summer 2020 wave offered. And I thought that that was kind of unfortunate, especially in a time period where we're not getting new Star Wars movies. I think that LEGO is put in a position where they can give us diverse waves, you know, like stuff from the prequels, stuff from the sequels. But there was literally nothing from the prequels or sequels in this wave. So I thought that was a very big missed opportunity. And I think as a whole, like 2021 is probably like my least favorite year of LEGO Star Wars, at least in recent history. There might be some, you know, weird year, like, you know, in the early years of LEGO Star Wars where I might be like, that year might be worse. But I think this one, just for me as a collector, for the things that I like in LEGO Star Wars and the position that I'm in, this one was definitely a low year. The bright spot is 2022 is around the corner, and I think the January wave already is awesome. I'm super excited for it. I already have the ATST right here. I think it's a very cool set, some great minifigures, and there's a bunch of other Hoth stuff coming out that is going to, I think, make a lot of kids happy just with the contextually common sets that we have. Like, if you want to build Hoth, this is a great time, and you have so many options to, you know, make a very convincing Hoth display. That being said, while I think 2021 for the normal sets, you know, wasn't very great, I do think that when it comes to the UCS sets, specifically with the AT-AT, that LEGO knocked it out of the park. The AT-AT, you know, now that we've had time to kind of reflect on it, I feel pretty comfortable saying like it might be the best LEGO set ever, like straight up. I still don't know if it's necessarily my favorite. I think my favorite is still the Star Destroyer, but the AT-AT is like for all intents and purposes kind of a perfect set. It doesn't have the most flawless design. It's not the most snot vehicle or anything like that. But the fact that one, it's a minifigure scale vehicle, and two, it has basically a full interior, like that's incredible. And like I said before, I don't know if any other UCS set or even Star Wars vehicle can say they have both of those things where they're minifig scale, at least at a large scale. There's obviously like starfighters and stuff that can have a full interior because it's a cockpit. But when it comes to larger scale vehicles, I can't think of any other one that can check those boxes. So that's really awesome. I love that set, and I think that kind of sets the standard for what UCS sets can be. They don't necessarily just have to be big things that you just look at, but you can obviously integrate an interior with it and make something really special. So love that AT-AT set, and I hope that all of you who have it are out there enjoying it, and you are combining it with the Hoth playsets to make some awesome dioramas. I am hoping to see a lot of people using that UCS AT-AT in some sort of Hoth display. Part of the video, let's talk about my plans for 2022. The first one that I want to talk about, because this is something that I've actually been actively planning for, is 2022, and if you guys didn't know it, is the 20th anniversary of Attack of the Clones, which means that here on this channel, we are going to be celebrating Attack of the Clones. Attack of the Clones is probably my second least favorite Star Wars movie, but it's one of those ones that has just been so underrepresented when it comes to Lego, and it feels kind of like the odd child out when you think about Star Wars movies for whatever reason. I'm not sure. Just to me, Episode 2 has always felt kind of like the odd one out. Like, I feel like it was not nearly as promoted as Episode 1 or Episode 3. It's just kind of that weird middle movie that not a lot of people talk about extensively compared to the other two in that trilogy or the other movies in the saga. So I think there's a lot of interesting things about it in that regard. It includes the Phase 1 clones, which are my favorite clone variant, and some really cool things design-wise. Like Episode 2 has my favorite Star Wars ship. It introduced the Republic gunship. So we're not going to spend the year talking about the not so great things about Episode 2, but instead we're going to try to celebrate the awesome things that Episode 2 contributed to Star Wars. So one of the things that I've personally been doing to prepare for that is I've been trying to collect all of the original like O2 and O3 Lego Star Wars Episode 2 sets, and I'm pretty much there. I have all of them outside of, I guess, the Technic sets and the mini sets, and I don't have the UCS Naboo Starfighter. So those are the three kind of, I feel like they're outliers. I don't know, some people might not think so. I think they're outliers. Those are the non-playset sets. So I may or may not get those. I think if I had to choose, the one that I would like to get is be the Naboo Starfighter. But even if I don't get that, at some point during the year, I'm going to do like an Episode 2 stream where we just go through and we rebuild all those original Episode 2 sets. It'll be super fun, and it'll be really cool to see all those sets in one place. So that's going to be one of the big ways we celebrate it. The second way we're going to celebrate it is obviously I'm building Camino, and a big part of my Camino box will be from Episode 2 reference material. So we'll get to celebrate it that way. You guys will get to finally see me do a large-scale prequel mock, and you'll get to finally see me do a mock with clone troopers. Ooh, isn't that exciting? So yeah, those are my plans for the Episode 2 side of things. I really want to do some cool things in regards to Episode 2. And even outside of that, like I have some just very interesting videos planned for Episode 2. I don't want to say anything right now, but you can expect them to be kind of like those like historical Lego Star Wars videos that I've done before, just retrospectives looking at what I feel are some pretty important moments in Lego Star Wars history, and we're going to specifically like zero in on Episode 2. So some really exciting things happening there. Other than that, just like I said, I want to build Camino, but my specific goal for Camino is to get it done before the conventions. I want to have Camino done. I want to record the finale of Camino here in my house where I can sit down, I can edit it, I can get all the pictures I want to get. I want to just, have a very pressure-free experience at conventions this year. I don't want to be frantically trying to finish Camino. And I know, you always say that it's easier said than done. But the one thing I do feel like I have working for me is just the fact that Camino is not nearly as big as Starkiller. Camino is more Vardos sized. I built Vardos in around like 6 months, and you know, the next convention isn't until 6.5 months from now. So I've already gotten started on planning Camino. I'm still sorting to get started on Camino, but Camino will be starting this year, and fingers crossed we'll be finished before those Lego conventions. So that's probably my biggest goal. Other than that, I guess I can throw out a subscriber goal because those are just kind of fun to look at. I think 65,000 is fair. That's like 20,000 more than I have now. I know that's a bigger jump than I wanted from last year, and I didn't achieve that goal. But I'm hoping that all those prequel fans out there who were super upset about me wasting my time building sequel mocks are going to show up and show out and show their support for me and my journey and finally building a prequel mock. So if you guys want to see me build more prequel mocks, now's the time to subscribe, huh? Other than that, the final thing is just more of like a personal thing. I want to find a better balance in my life. I feel like my personality is one where, you know, I don't want to say I'm bad at multitasking, but I'm very much so a person who's like, if I start a project, I want to finish the project before I start my next project. And when it comes to, you know, trying to find balance in life, I've realized you just can't operate that way. You know, you end up with what happened earlier this year where, you know, I started working on my backyard, that RC track, and, you know, months went by where I wasn't uploading because I'm like, I want to finish this before I invest time in something else. And you just can't, like, for me, for the things I want to accomplish, for the many different, like, projects I want to do, I just can't afford to, you know, take on a long-term project and then not do literally anything else until that long-term project is finished. So I want to find a better balance just with everything in my life, whether it be with school, you know, with spending time with family, uploading on YouTube. Like, even if I'm not uploading every day, I want to still maintain some sort of regularity with uploading to YouTube, because I know that means a lot to you guys, and it does mean a lot to me. Like, it is very much so a big goal of mine to be consistently uploading on YouTube, because this is such a big part of my life. So that's my personal goal. We'll look back in at the end of 2022, and we'll see how many of these things we achieved. The one way I do want to end this video, though, is I'm going to look through the comment section for two reasons. One, in that video, I think I mentioned, like, hey, you know, what are some of your guys' goals for the end of 2021? And it'll be interesting to see what some of you guys said. But also, it'll just be interesting to see, like, what faces were around back then and which ones are still around to this day. All right, let's see who's been with me since 2020. Of course, Lord of the Bricks, top comment, not surprised by that at all. Shout out to Nate, awesome dude. RoboNut03, Francis, GK Bricks, feel like I haven't seen him in a while. Joey Kessler, I feel like I've seen him recently. Cult of Christensen, my guy. Who else we got? Techno Union Broadcast, Jay, you have made 2020 one of the best years of my life. Aww. Thank you, Techno. Axadroid, Alex McBrick, where the heck have you been, dude? Sarah Star Bricks, I literally have never seen that name before. So Sarah, hopefully you're watching right now. Will Harper, always a boyo. Playmation, yes, he says, Happy New Year, Jay. That's a tasty looking bag of ketchup chips. Bruh. Have it seriously been a year where I've not eaten those chips? Oh my god, that's unacceptable. Hold on. Oh my god, that is insane. You know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna eat the chips. So these were a gift from Playmation, I guess a year ago, last Christmas. And he bought me these because someone mentioned on stream that Canada had ketchup flavored Lay's. And I was like, that sounds insane. Like, why would they have ketchup flavored Lay's? Like, what the heck? But they're apparently a thing, and I have them here in my hands. And he bought me these a year ago. And I always said I was going to save these for a very special occasion to eat. And it obviously didn't happen. But now we are a year later, and I think it's finally time. I'm very concerned about my health for this, because these expired February 9th. So, you know what? Let's do it. It's just a chip, right? Like, what's the worst that can happen? I mean, they smell like ketchup. There's nothing crawling in the bag. All right. The most important meal of the day, serving it up to Rich Boy J. Hey! That's not terrible. I mean, it's weird. It has a weird ketchup taste, but it doesn't suck. It's okay. I don't know if I'd ever choose to eat these, but and we do have to adjust it for inflation, right? Like, these are very expired. So, I'm assuming they taste better if they're brand new. Okay. I mean, they're okay. They're not terrible. Yeah, Lay's ketchup chips. Shout out to the Canadians. Hope you guys appreciate that. All right, let's keep scrolling. Let's see who we got. Get the Brick. Shout out to him. Met him at Brick Fiesta. Dutastic, my guy. He says, in 2021, I hope to restart my channel. Let's see if you did that. Oof. That's rough. All right, Dutastic. 2022, you know what to do, bro. I think that's a good starting point. So, shout out to all the boyos who have stood by me since day one, aka 2020. And I can't wait for a year from now to look back in the comment section of this video and see who's still around. So, shout out to all of you who have supported me this year. This will probably be my last video for 2021. So let's all take a moment of silence to appreciate the moments that we've shared together. And I'll be back again very soon. See you guys.